Hi, I'm Nikita,
Hi, I'm Pooja.
and welcome to another episode of
Let's pour and ponder. And what we're drinking today?
This is a soy milk latte, which I have to admit I'm not a big fan of. This is my first time having. It's okay, I will drink it, but I am not a fan of. I didn't say it's bad, but I prefer the regular one, I guess. Or maybe it's just one sip. Let me try again.
I did give her a choice, guys, so
And I was open to trying
yeah,
something new,
that's
which
good.
shows something, which tells you that I'm
But I
not
have
very
to tell you,
rigid.
the first time I tried soya milk, I did not like it at all.
See, so you relate to
And
this. Okay. Pooja,
yeah,
why are we all dressed up, Pooja?
because it's Diwali soon.
Oh, so we are having a pre-Diwali celebration.
Yeah,
And because we are Indians, Diwali is, I think, I know it is the biggest festival which is celebrated across all communities in India,
yeah,
all Hindu communities in India. When I say communities, I mean regional communities.
yeah,
Because I think Holi is a festival which is celebrated more in the north, but not as much in the south.
yeah,
But Diwali is something which is celebrated all across India.
yeah.
That is the extent of my speech on Diwali. What we are here to discuss today is Diwali in the UK. India वाली दिवाली इंडिया में सबको पता है.
It's a different feeling here, isn't it?
I wouldn't know because I've only had one Diwali here, and even that one Diwali was very low key because we were new.
Yeah.
So we'd been here for 6 months, but still very new. But you've been here 11 years and you've had more, as many Diwalis here. So why don't you start us off on what the Diwali experience is like?
Well, let me just tell you that it's not going to be as sparkly and, like as noisy at it as it can get in India.
Can I say that that is what I love about the UK, and that is exactly what I absolutely dislike about Diwali in India, as to how it can assault your auditory senses and sorry. Go on.
Yeah, I think it's not as, like people in India, they would just start anytime bursting crackers, lighting all sorts of chakris and what do you call it? Sutli bum.
Oh,
You
that is
know
the
those
worst. Rassi
1,000 ki
bomb bolte hai
ladi,
usko.
2,000 ki ladi, the longer you have it, the more money you have or something. But it's so noisy and it's not obviously good for the environment. So
Absolutely not.
over here, the first thing is when there's Diwali, places like Sainsbury's and Asda, local supermarkets will have a little counter for firecrackers.
Maybe in Reading, not where I live, because here, every time I get off the train, all I see is not, I don't know if they are Indians, but they are Asians, brown Asians, Indians, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, Bangladeshis.
Bangladeshis, yeah.
मुझे ऐसे फीलिंग ही नहीं आती कि मैं इंग्लैंड में किसी स्टेशन पे उतरी हूँ. मुझे जैसे ऐसे लग रहा है मैं चर्च गेट या वीटी स्टेशन आ गई हूँ जहाँ पे बहुत सारे British tourists. I know it's a very weird thing to say, but I always see so many Indians, except this time. I don't know. This time,
That's
yeah,
because Reading is so close to
London,
London,
yeah.
and it's just people are now choosing to because they can't afford housing in London. They're just choosing to come here, which then has also increased prices and affordability in Reading as well.
So, but we started this conversation
I
with you
know.
saying that
So you'd get firecrackers, and for the first time in my life, did I see that they had like a noise rating on the firecrackers. So you can get something for your small garden, so like less noisy, even for rockets and things like that. So it's quite nice. And because you know what, a lot of people here have animals, I mean pet animals, dogs, cats, and it's the worst for them when it's Diwali or even at Halloween. I mean, apart from that, I think for Diwali, because now you have so many Asian shops, at least here and closer to London, you almost get everything.
what is it like celebrating Diwali here? Not with family that we are used to, that we were used to until we
Yeah.
moved here. And what has the experience been like for you?
When you move abroad, you make friends. Yeah. So most of us make friends, and your friends become your family. For me, at least, we've had some really great friendships, and we just try and meet up around Diwali and celebrate together. Everybody gets together at one person's house.
What do you
We
do?
we either do like a potluck, which I think
Ooh,
is a great idea, because
yeah,
then everybody, not just one person's cooking. So
yeah.
you use one of the houses as a base, and then everybody brings something that they cooked, and then yeah, we just
What do you
eat.
bring usually?
It depends. Sometimes I've cooked something like pav bhaji, or people really like.
Can we go to that Indian restaurant today? I want pav bhaji now. Oh my God.
Yeah, sometimes I've made pav bhaji, sometimes, like dahi bhalla and those kind of things, and
चाट काउंटर
samosa
खोल दिया है
chaat.
तूने. Oh God.
My vada pav apparently is very famous in
I
my.
can, yeah, I can confirm that I have tried it 1 year ago almost
Yeah. So
when
I
you were here.
usually get the request of making the vada pav, which is okay, I think.
No, it's nice. I mean, especially if it's not something that you can just go walk down the street and find like 10 counters that sell vada pav, then it
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
become, something of a delicacy. I wouldn't shy away from calling it that.
Hmm.
It is. And if it tastes as good as it does, then of course it is going to be requested by people.
I don't know where to look.
Into the camera here, right here. Just pat yourself on the back for
Okay.
like making a tasty vada pav and making it taste like vada pav despite the horrible pav that we had last time, which you had no part in making, which is why it's okay to say that. But so moving here,
Hmm.
how long did it take for you to find that friends like family circle? Because you've been here for 11 and a half years. And
Yeah, so it was hard at first. In my first year, I didn't have as many friends, and I didn't have like a group of my own. But I think by the end of the first year, it so happened that I met one of my best friends. And it so happened that we lived literally across the road from each other.
is it the one I have also met here?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like we were in similar, like, sort of walk in our life. So both couples didn't
Your
have
husband's
kids.
names are also similar.
Let's not. Let's not. Yeah. Yeah. And, like, it just happened that we gelled, and
Mhm.
then we met somewhere through somebody else. And then that was that. And then there were other friends who were just living few just down the street, few apartments apart, and things like that. So early on, it just used to be like, I used to call her, or she used to call me, like, what are you cooking? Okay, are you cooking this? Okay, I'm bringing the rotis and I'm coming over to you. So, like, so
Oh.
we just used to do that a lot. And she's like, oh, I'm making chicken, you want to come over? And we used to go to hers.
So
So
this is before both of you had kids.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And our friendship just grew because, we had
I'm not
kids.
jealous at all.
Oh, not at all. You can be a little jealous, but that's it. But yeah, so yeah, it was good. We had kids just a few, not a
No,
few
no.
months
I
apart,
think
but
a
like
year.
a year
Yeah.
apart. Yeah, it was good. So slowly, I think it wasn't like straight away like I thought initially that it would be, but
You were still in your 20s that time, right? So I think
yeah,
it's a
late
bit,
20s.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
okay to have few unrealistic expectations, but some realistic expectations because we've had that experience and we've covered this in the previous episode. I just
Yeah.
heard. I guess then, because I have been here for a year and a
Hmm.
half, and I wouldn't say I have made friends,
Hmm.
but I know a few people,
Yeah, that's a good start.
but not well enough that we do Diwali together. Given that I am also not very social, I think I am on track. Because the timelines don't have to match
Well, you have
exactly.
me, so what
Yeah,
else
but
do you
see,
want?
again, so the thing is, meeting you requires planning weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Since I don't drive yet, it costs money. So it's not like if I just feel like, let's meet up for a coffee, I can just pop over.
Hmm.
For that, you need somebody local
Yeah.
to have that
Yeah.
kind of friendship. And I know it will happen sometime.
But then again, you're living in a small town, so that'll also
There
have
are
its,
Indians there,
yeah.
because in the small village that I live,
But
there
that
is a
also
Indian
depends on whether you
WhatsApp
want to
group,
connect with all these
which is what I
people.
was
Yeah.
coming to. There is a WhatsApp group that I was added to, and they do cultural events.
Hmm.
More than the cultural bit, I think there is a lot of religious part attached to it, which I
Hmm.
don't fault anybody for. I mean, a lot of people are religious. I
Yeah.
think we,
Yeah.
I don't know how religious you are. Are you?
I'm not that religious.
Okay.
No.
So for we especially in the Indian community, we are the minority. I know we just did a Mikey Aarti and all of that, but
Yeah, but
it
that's
was
just
just,
like,
it was more cultural
hmm.
than religious. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't do it with the intention of, if we don't do it, acha nahi hoga podcast. We didn't do it with that intention.
No.
But a lot of people do believe that, and I know I will not fit into that group
Yeah, that's true.
easily. If the conversations are only focused around religious celebrations and this puja and that havan and whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
then it's not for me. Let me,
Yeah.
yeah, let me just say that.
I agree with
So
that 100%. Like,
they have fun. I saw pictures of one. So there were a lot of New Year's in April. I think Baisakhi, Vishu, Ugadi, which is I think Kannada,
yeah.
Karnataka, and Gudi Padwa.
Hmm.
All of these festivals come around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they did one New Year celebration,
Hmm.
and there was this Punjabi group that did a Gidda dance,
Oh,
and
that's so
then there
nice.
was
Yeah.
a few children who did a Bollywood dance and all of
Hmm.
that. I think it was fun. I don't know why we didn't go. It was also my daughter's birthday this weekend, yes.
Yeah.
And it was probably the first proper birthday of hers that we were going to celebrate, because her first birthday, I was in the hospital. I had a kidney stone that morning. Her second birthday, we had just moved here. So we're like, no, this weekend is going to be about her.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
going to do anything else. So that's why I skipped it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. But it's still not as intimate as the celebrations you have, which I think is what I prefer. I prefer my social interactions to be with a smaller group
Yeah.
where we can actually talk. I don't want to sit and look at performances, because
See,
I could just sit at home and watch TV
yeah,
instead.
that's true. And Diwali is such a big part of at least our culture, and everybody celebrates it. And it just feels like if there is one festival that is Indian and you want to celebrate it, it has to be Diwali. And if you're going to do it, just do it with your favorite people, and rather than
Yeah.
just going out and, doing it with a lot of strangers that you don't know. And
That's
sometimes,
what Navratri and Garba is for.
I know. But even with Navratri and Garba, like, obviously we go. Some people organize it
Is it fun
in
here?
like big schools and halls and things like that. But
Mhm.
over the past few years, I found it really difficult because it just gets so crowded these days because there's just too many of us here, guys. So it does start to get a bit disorganized. You don't know where to keep your shoes because they want you to take off your shoes and come inside the hall. There's no place to sit for people who are not going to dance, like husbands and
Husbands don't want to dance, that's why? Or they are
yeah,
not allowed to dance?
they
Like,
don't
what's.
want to dance.
Okay, then I think it's fair.
Or like there's
Are you
just
telling me it's only women dancing most of the time?
most of the time,
And
like,
then
we
the
have
men
all
are
the fun.
sitting there watching all these other
Yeah.
women dance.
So
Yeah, I'm a
no,
little
they're
creeped
just
out by
no.
just as a thought of that now.
Oh my god, no, it's not like that. It's like imagine a big hall, okay, and then you have one group dancing here, one group dancing here, one group dancing here, instead of everybody forming this, and in the center usually there'll be this big circle
Yeah.
doing their garba thing, okay, and in one corner there are few chairs, and like I see all the husbands and men just fighting for those chairs because it's like, women have just abandoned their husband over there because it's like bacha pakdo, carriage pakdo, saman pakdo, we are going, bye. And it's literally like that. So I don't think necessarily they're standing there checking everybody out, but it's like that, they're
Obviously, I
just, yeah,
said that as a joke.
yeah,
I'm
but
sure some of them are, not all of them.
yeah, of course, you
But
never
yeah,
know.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that's not the goal. Yeah.
Well, all the women look really gorgeous in there. in their outfits. So even if
Any
somebody
chance to,
sees,
like, it's not even Diwali, like, look
yeah,
at us. Why are we in this finery, in this heat, when, like, all sweaty just for this podcast and
yeah,
for recording this episode? We've decided to, like, just put in the effort. So imagine when, there are other people, obviously people are going to watch us here also, so yeah, that's true. But when you have, it's an occasion, it's a proper legitimate
yeah.
reason. We have made this reason up. They literally have a reason
And
to
for
dress up.
the podcast listeners who are listening at the podcast
Oh.
platform,
Mm-hmm.
we are currently dressed in very shiny, sparkly outfits. Um,
Indian
Indian
outfits.
outfits and traditional Indian outfits, salwar kameez,
Me.
and
What
for her.
what
And I have like a makeshift outfit because I don't fit into any of my old Indian clothes. I bought this dress of New Look. Shout out to New Look. The print and everything is so
So
Indian.
let me just describe this, okay? It's what is the word?
Tiered.
Ombre effect.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
starting with a light coral peach at the top and with a baby pink in the bottom. And there's an ombre effect with a nice golden zari that is like a thicker tiger print.
Yeah.
I mean, but it looks beautiful, and it's a strappy dress, and she's adorned a gorgeous organza golden bronze
Dupatta.
colored dupatta, and she's wearing kangans in her
My
hand
kangans.
and a nice choker around her neck and two pretty earrings, and I am in a nice navy blue kurta
Which is a
pajama
very
set.
pretty color, I must say. And then
Yeah,
it's got like gold
gold print on it.
print on it with this beautiful dupatta in is that peach or
Yes,
coral?
I think peach. I
Yeah,
think.
which
And my
I
nails.
wanted to steal
And
for my outfit, but she didn't want to give it to
because
me.
I painted my nails specifically to match this. Okay, thank you, Sarah, for these nails. They look amazing. So, yeah. And I have these extra large jhumkas on my ear, which I think my ears will get tired of by in another hour or so. And yeah, we look amazing, both
We
of
look
us.
amazing. On the topic of clothes,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, I thought of something else. Like with Diwali, a lot of Indians celebrated, but I've also had one of my neighbors who's Russian. She wanted to celebrate with us and she wanted to experience Diwali with us. So she has a daughter as well, and she got her kids, and we got them dressed. So I lent her one of my saris, and then we all celebrated together, took pictures, ate a little bit of like food and stuff,
And this was
samosas and
on
things like
Diwali
that
day.
on Diwali day. And
Okay.
then we did some low noise firecrackers outside, just sparklers and things. And it was so much fun. The girls remember it so well, and because around Diwali time they learn about Diwali as well in school, so they're already
Oh.
having those kind of conversations, which is why the girls really wanted to do it. So I remember a lot of my other English mum friends wanted to then join in because my friend had such a good experience. So
Mm-hmm.
we might have to do something about that. I completely forgot. That is another
This.
thing I love about being here is that, there's no religious boundaries. Like, I'm sure my friend is a Christian. She didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she had to, when she came here and she wanted to do this Hindu festival, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I personally have been inside mosques.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone there, taken blessings. I've even gone to churches. For me, I personally feel like there is no boundary.
I have been in churches, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been inside a mosque.
In fact, I don't know whether I should say this, but yeah, my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
she was very like strong Hindu. If anything good happened in our lives or her children's lives, she would take us all to this one mosque
Oh,
in Nagpur.
okay.
She would take us there, and because of her I've known now what to do when
Ah,
you go there. And I don't know what her belief was, but every time there was anybody was going to start something new in the family, they would go there.
sorry.
We would also go to our favorite temple as well. So
Mm.
okay, so there would be that, but there would be this one little thing we would do as well.
That's interesting because you would think that the older generations were less tolerant of,
Yeah.
or maybe it also depends on whether it was pre-independence or post-independence, what time they grew up in, who
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
friends were
Yeah.
before all this, the communal differences were, became very, very
Mm.
obvious. And if they have grown up in those times and they
Mm.
have interacted with people from other religious communities and they have had great experiences,
Mm.
then I think
Yeah.
that's how you build an outlook that, if you're seeking blessings, you don't just go to our temple, you go to another place of worship that
I mean,
others believe in.
tell me about it. How many Hindus have gone into Haji Ali? Just tell me. So
No, so they
everybody
don't
goes,
see it as
no?
a place of worship, it is more of a tourist attraction, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's more
I
of
mean,
a,
you don't have to go there and, like worship, like proper worship, like what a Muslim would do. You can still go and pay respects.
I'm sure they do, but
Hmm.
the intention of visiting is not to pay respects.
Yeah,
When
it's
you're
for
already
the.
there, you will.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it is disrespectful to
Yeah.
go into a place
Yeah.
of worship and to not,
Hmm.
be at least aware of the fact that you're in a religious place. But same goes for the ISKCON temple in Juhu.
Yeah.
It is a tourist attraction.
Hmm.
People who come to visit Mumbai, I think it is one of the places to visit, because the temple is beautiful. It's huge,
Hmm.
and the food there is amazing. I have spent a lot of my childhood Sundays there. But this is what you separate religion, where you separate religion and spirituality, right?
Yeah, true.
You don't have to be religious to appreciate different religions.
True.
In fact, I found it the opposite. Most religious people are so closed minded.
That's true.
I feel spiritual people who are religious but who also are equally spiritual
Yeah.
appreciate other cultures and
Hmm.
religions a bit more.
There needs to be a flexibility in this day and age.
With everything,
With
not just
everything,
with
yeah.
religion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like religion drives a lot of, divisions. So
Okay, are we going there this time?
I don't want to go there, but
We
yeah.
will, not today.
Yeah,
Not
not
today.
today. So yeah,
Because
let's coming.
I think it's time to pause then.
Yeah.
Let's come back. Let's take a pause.
Hmm.
And we'll see you guys in a bit. Welcome back to Let's Pour and Ponder. And we are talking about Diwali and just life in general in the UK.
Hmm.
Speaking of, how quickly did you find UK or feel like UK was your home now? Was it hard when you first moved? What parts did you easily adjust to? What were the hard parts? Tell us everything, Pooja.
So when I came here, the first thing I noticed was like, it's so quiet.
It's one of my favorite parts about living here.
I know, but I was like, my husband was still obviously working, so I came home. I reached here, and then that week he still had to work, so
Okay.
he still had like a few days. I came midweek, and then I was sat in the flat where we were.
You've already become so British because in India we would say I was sitting, and you said I was sat. The
Taken
nerd,
you by
the grammar
surprise.
nerd in me. I know I shouldn't be saying this about the people who invented the language, but there's something wrong about I was sat there.
Let
I
it
was
go, let it go.
copyright. Ush, mat gao, please. Yeah, so you were
Okay,
sat somewhere.
let it go.
Okay.
Let it go.
You were sat in your
So
flat.
I was sat in my flat.
Mhm.
He had gone to work. Obviously, because it was so cold, I came here in January. So it was so cold. Everything, all the windows are shut, everything's shut. And I was sitting in this room on the couch.
You said
Just-
it the right way.
Yeah, and I was looking around, going, what do I do now? Like
Oh.
it's so quiet. There's no noise. I'm so used to, people and, honking and everything. It's just like it took me a few days. And then I think when I came here, the second day, it snowed. So I was like, oh my God, my first snow. So that was the first time I saw
I've only
snow.
seen flurries now.
Yeah, and it was full blown snow. So it was
Wow.
like this tall, and it was amazing. I felt fabulous. I was like, yay, playing in
Winter
the snow.
Wonderland.
Yeah, winter wonderland. And then so that was fun. But then after a few days, when the snow just wouldn't go, it just felt like Oh my
Became hard
God.
ice? Does it become
Yeah,
ice
it
after
becomes
frying?
like
Yeah.
black ice because
Oh.
people are walking around and everything, it gets muddy and stuff like that. And that's very slippery. And
Hmm.
because I'd come from India, I had no like snowshoes or anything like appropriate, not even appropriate like jackets and stuff for it.
Oh.
When I came from India, I just bought like one jacket and it was fine. And then we had to then go into town
Hmm.
uh, to then buy one which would help me in this
Is
weather.
that the one that I have now?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the olive one. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought the gray one. The olive one was the first.
that was my first one. Yeah.
Oh, sustainability, guys. 11 years later, the jacket is still around and it's been passed on to somebody else who's happily using it without grumbling about it because it's cheaper than buying a new one. Yeah,
For sure,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, so I mean, initially it took a bit of adjusting, and also when I came here, it flared up my migraines massively because
Oh,
of uh,
is it a
the
hay
change.
fever symptom? Do you think it could be?
No, no,
No.
it's just like change of schedule and things like that. So,
When you say schedule, you mean?
like my eating
Oh,
schedule and things like that. So I have to eat on
so
time to be able to manage my migraines.
okay.
So it's like it's
How
quite
different was
difficult.
it when you were in India versus when you came here?
So when I was in India, all the doctors would diagnose it as something like a gastric thing. So
Okay.
nobody told me that it was a migraine. And when I moved here, and I just used to get really sick
Mm-hmm.
and have these headaches constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the GP and then he was like, "Oh, it's a classic case of migraine." And I was like, "No, I've been told that the sickness is the cause of the headaches, not the headaches that are the cause of the sickness." Then he read me all this material about migraine and the different types of migraines with their auras and things like that, and mine was unfortunately related to stomach issues,
Mm.
which then made me really sick. So that was like one of the big changes. Then I had to like make sure that I eat on time, because you don't know what triggers a migraine.
Yeah,
It's really different for different people. There
yeah.
could be sometimes people eat certain things and it can cause you a migraine.
So I have a slightly related story, but not related.
Okay.
So when I moved from Mumbai to Navi Mumbai, I
Mm,
used to live in
mm.
Andheri until
Yeah.
my 12th standard, and then I moved to Navi Mumbai, and I developed these hives, which used to start on their own. And I saw a dermat who gave me something, but it wouldn't go away.
Hmm.
And then when I mentioned this to somebody, they said, "ओ ये तो तेरे डॉक्टर ने एग्जाम में ये चैप्टर स्किप किया होगा पढ़ाई करने में इसीलिए उसको पता नहीं है." Because it's very clearly he knew it was a pollen thing, okay,
Hmm.
because Navi Mumbai had pollen, and
Pollen.
now I came here
Hmm.
and I know that it's pollen allergy, which I have. They prescribed a medicine which had a fixed dosage and you needed a prescription, an allergy medicine.
Hmm.
But the regular antihistamine was what I realized I had to take on
You,
my own,
yeah.
and I used to take that whenever it used
Hmm.
to itch or whatever. And now I've discovered that this bouts of cough that I get
Hmm.
again is a pollen allergy, and
Yeah.
no amount of cough medicine is going to do it.
It's
Okay,
like hay
and
fever, isn't it?
I it is hay fever.
Yeah.
And the last time I came here and we did our test recording that didn't do well, I said that I took Claritin, the
Hmm.
antihistamine, for my cough. And this is a cough that lasts for 6 weeks, and then my voice becomes hoarse
Hmm.
and I sound like a man, and sometimes there's just air coming out. Okay, and this is very pleasant for my voice. Okay, my voice is not always like this. It took me 5 tablets of Claritin to make my cough disappear, which would otherwise have lasted for at least 2, 3 to 4 weeks more.
That's so interesting. Yeah. Hmm.
And this is something doctors in India, either they are not aware. I'm sure that hay fever and pollen allergy is not unique to the UK.
No, it's not.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't know. So you developed a routine once you knew, when your doctor told you that
Yeah.
it was your food habits or the lack of
No,
food
so
in your
he
body.
told me to figure out what the trigger was, and I was like, "Oh
Hmm.
my God." I knew
Homework.
even from India, when I
Huh.
was in India, I knew if I
Hmm.
don't have the 4 baje ki chai,
Hmm.
my head will ache.
Hmm.
So I used to think it's related to something like that. And then
Hmm.
I think it took me a few years actually to figure out what the perfect routine for me to avoid it is. If I have to think about it, it wasn't a very difficult like transition
Mm-hmm.
moving,
Mm-hmm.
because to be honest, I had never dreamt of coming out, living
Really?
abroad. And for me, it was like, yeah, my friends are here in India, my family is here in India. I had no like desire to move out.
I'm going to say things that are going to make people hate me.
But that's
Friends and
okay.
family are overrated. First,
No, but I mean, for me,
and
it
I
was just,
couldn't wait to get out of India and come here.
which is where we are quite different in that sense. But
But
in
we
my,
ended up in the see the result is
we
the
are in the
same.
same boat. But
Yeah.
this is what is quite surprising to me. Like controversially, I actually now enjoy being here. Like I haven't been to India in about like 10 years now
Hmm.
almost.
Really?
And yeah, and I haven't, and I honestly shouldn't say this, but
It's
I don't
okay.
miss it. I don't miss it that much, because to
See,
me this
okay.
is my home
I
now.
think this is where we are getting into the zone, okay,
Yeah.
of people like us who have left our homelands will get a lot of shade for actually admitting
Hmm.
that we enjoy our life here
Hmm.
more than we did in India because there is a certain
I don't know if it's,
romanticism attached to patriotism. It is
yeah,
considered
yeah,
romantic.
yeah.
How dare you say something bad about your country? But
But
here's the thing.
being here and being in another country, okay, and then living somewhere else is not going to suddenly make you not patriotic. Like
No,
it
but a
doesn't
lot of
take away the
people,
feeling of being, oh, I am an Indian, like
that
that.
is different.
Yeah. So
Even those who are born here
yeah.
are Indians,
Hmm.
but they don't feel the same attachment to India. But that's not what I'm saying. You not let's just talk about me. If I am admitting that I like my life here
Yeah.
over
Hmm.
my life back in India, it's not going to be taken well. There is a romanticism attached to patriotism. You can't say something bad about your motherland, okay? But again,
I don't
these are
think necessarily admitting that you like living somewhere else is saying something bad about your country. That is where I think people are going wrong,
if
because
you're saying you
if
like this better than
I'm
that,
not saying I
that means
like it
that is not good
better,
enough.
I'm just saying I like this.
You're saying you
That's
don't.
it. I
Yes.
love it.
So would
That's it.
okay, okay. If
That doesn't mean that
would
I
you move back? Would you
hate
move
it
back?
in India.
Will you move back?
I wouldn't, because my home is here.
You are in fact then. So here's the subtext then.
Hmm.
That is not your home anymore.
No, because
You got married. Are your parents not your parents anymore?
they are,
Exactly. So now that you moved here, how is India not your home anymore?
but I never
I
said it's
agree with
not
what you're
my
no no no.
home.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way. I'm just saying that this is
Hmm.
how it sounds to somebody who's going to come at you
Yeah.
for saying that you like your life
So
here.
what do you think I should say?
You can say whatever you like. I am not going to tell you what to say. I am just saying that there is a section of people who will take offense at you liking this better and saying that you can't move back to India because this is your home now. Technically, you've lived here only 11 years, which
No,
you've
but to be
still spent.
honest, see, there are some things in UK or anywhere living abroad people would love. There are pros and cons to both. Okay.
Which is what I was coming to.
Yeah, sorry, I keep
The
cutting you.
so the thing is, like, just like the same person is not a suitable partner for, say, there are your husband,
Hmm.
okay, if you both are compatible,
Hmm.
I am sure there are other people who are absolutely incompatible with either of you.
Hmm.
My husband and I deal with a lot of each other's quirks
Hmm.
that nobody else can deal with.
Hmm. Hmm.
That doesn't mean that me or my husband are inherently bad people.
Hmm.
The same way, countries, regions can be suitable for some people
Yeah.
and not suitable for
For
some
others.
people.
Yeah.
Just because I am born in a particular place doesn't mean that place is right for me.
Hmm.
Okay, and I have struggled with not feeling like I belong, which I didn't know how to put it into words until I realized that is what it was.
Hmm.
I always felt like everybody was like, "Arey, ये तो ऐसा ही है, adjust कर लो," and I was like, "No,
And
I'm
that is
not
such a
okay with
common
this."
thing people say in India, like, you know.
See, if that is the logic, if you can't come to terms with the fact that people can move out of India
Hmm.
and make their lives there, most people move out of small towns to move to bigger
Move to
cities.
bigger cities.
Why do you leave your small towns?
Yeah.
Those small towns are your home.
Hmm.
You should be happy there. But if it's okay to leave your small town for a better life
Oh,
in the
and
city,
opportunities, yeah.
then why not
Yeah.
leave whatever city or small town in your
Hmm.
country
Hmm.
and move to a different place?
Yeah.
Each person has different likes, dislikes, things that they are okay with.
Hmm.
And if that comfort is not found, for us, it was not about the money.
Hmm.
Okay, a lot of people move abroad
For
for
money.
better
Yeah.
opportunities in
Yeah.
life to,
Yeah.
especially when they're moving from small towns.
Hmm.
We were living in Mumbai.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's a metro, even though it was Dombivli. It was a metro. But it was in fact moving to my complex in Dombivli that I realized that India inherently is not the problem. It is Indians. It is we, because we have the unique capacity to take something amazing and bring it down to the. So, okay, let me not use adjectives, let me just give you facts.
Yeah.
When I moved to Palava, it was phase two. There was one part that was already built. This was the newer complex.
Yeah.
The buildings. Oof. Matlab, here, for people here in the UK, I think those access cards se open hone wali buildings with cameras and where you
Hmm.
can open the building
Yeah.
door would
Yeah.
be something that is. Friends had it in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it is not new.
Hmm.
But to have that kind of security, marble flooring in the lobby,
Hmm.
amazing chandeliers in the building. It
Wow.
was in Dombivli, but it looked like
Powai or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So when I saw the place, it was under construction, okay? Manicured lawns, there were
Oh,
gardens everywhere,
nice.
and it was international quality apartments. And even though it was Dombivli, which is far away from a place anybody would call Mumbai, it is Thane district technically. I was like, let's move here
Yeah.
because this is
Yeah.
such a beautiful I can't believe this is in India.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is so good. And they built a school inside the complex, so
Yeah.
everything was accessible. It took a mere 2.5 years for pan stains to appear
Oh my God,
inside
no.
lifts, for people to use the
Inside
stairwell.
lifts.
Yes, for people to allow their dogs to pee in the lift. Okay,
Oh, I hate
for
that.
I mean, being able to take a walk under your building without the fear of food falling on your head is a reasonable expectation, right?
Food?
Mixed dal chawal mixed,
But why is it falling
because
down?
people are throwing it out of their houses.
Are you telling me that PR?
I will find these
Oh my
pictures
God, that's
of the.
so disturbing.
Can I tell you something? Okay, so there are these internal roads
Yeah.
inside Palava,
Yeah.
which are wider
Hmm.
than the main roads in Mumbai suburbs.
Yeah, of
So
course.
Andheri,
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
road that goes from Pump House to Shere Punjab.
Oh God,
जहाँ
yeah.
पे
I know
दो
that road.
जहाँ पे दो BST buses साथ में अगर आ गई ना, तो और कोई गाड़ी जा नहीं
जा
सकती.
नहीं
And it is
सकता.
very easy to have a traffic jam because two buses are like stuck in one place. We have 3 lanes on each side of our internal roads in Palava,
Nice.
plus itna wide sidewalk where 3 or 4 people can walk.
Hmm.
Okay, they have put that much thought into planning
Into
the
planning
city
it.
to
Yeah,
make it like there's a multi-level car park.
Hmm.
Okay, like a few buildings, clusters of buildings have one car park assigned to them. People ruined it, man. And I was like, I got attached to that place. It broke my heart. I was like, I don't want to live here anymore. And no matter what place you go to in India, we have the capacity. And I say I include not me personally, but I am counting myself as a part of this group when I say that we have the capacity and the unique talent and ability to make any place look like a slum.
Oh
And
God.
I'm not exaggerating.
And I'm sure these places are not cheap. So these are people who can
Okay, so
earn that much
no, so
money.
okay, so because of the location, it
Yeah.
was affordable to a lot of people.
Hmm.
Because like a one bedroom costs 45 lakhs rupees in rupees, which would be
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
45,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
so a one bedroom was that inexpensive. There are bins. Oh my God, there were bins. There was a the public bins had a dry and wet garbage separation.
Hmm. Hmm.
People didn't care.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry
इफ
about
आई शेयर
that.
पिक्चर्स, मेरे को लिटरली रोना आ गया था, पता है, देखिए लाइक ये इतना अच्छा, मेरा बाकी बिल्डिंग गई तेल लेने। ओके मैं जिस बिल्डिंग में रह रही हूँ, इतना हम लोग प्यार से अपने घर के अंदर भी कीप आवर हाउसेस सो प्रिटी, एंड पीपल डोंट केयर अबाउट द एनवायरनमेंट।
Hmm.
एंड दैट डे आई डिसाइडेड, इवन इफ यू मूव टू द रिचेस्ट neighborhood, there will be some people who don't care.
Hmm. Yeah, true.
The civic sense of I want to keep my neighborhood pretty is not there
Not
in
there. Yeah.
majority of us, and then we blame the government for अरे कचरा साफ नहीं होता, look at the हालत of the state, or look at people do this.
Hmm.
Okay, no government official is
Yeah.
coming and deliberately littering all over your street. Yeah, they have their own issues. They hold up traffic and they behave as if they are the most important people.
But that
But the
also,
day to day is to be taken care of by us.
truly, and that also makes me think about the monuments that we have in India. Like, look at all the, you know,
Can you see
places
I'm
like
angry?
Qutub Minar and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
What kind of a state they are in? Like anything except Taj Mahal has not been
I have not been to the Taj Mahal, but
kept properly at all.
then that's also probably because it's one of the seven wonders of the world.
Yeah,
So it is above all the other
all the
monuments in
others.
India. So, and because people internationally, I mean, come to visit this, but
Anyway, so let's come back to life in
because
UK. What we like about UK and what we dislike. So just it doesn't have to be too brief. Let's do it like
it
a
has to
few.
be brief.
Sorry, it
Too
yeah,
long.
too long.
Okay.
It just has to be a brief.
Okay, so can we do it as a
Yeah,
rapid fire?
rapid fire. So
Okay.
like,
So
give me one thing that you like about UK.
so first we are doing the things we like.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I go, then you go,
Yeah,
then I go.
yeah.
Okay, start.
What? I'm going first.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I like that we have the NHS.
Okay.
Next,
My
you.
taxi driver from yesterday would disagree. But I like how everyone is polite and says hello to you, even if they don't know you, if you just walk past them on the street. Go.
Cool. Okay, I like that there is peace and quiet.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's one
So
on
go.
one of mine too. I like that people are considerate. I like the people here. Because if they see you, you're with a child and you're having a hard time, they will not stand there and make a face. They'll just move out of your way so that you can take your time, and they won't rush you. Go. One more each, I think.
I like that you can shut down your work at the end of the day, whatever the time is, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever, and then you don't have to think about it. Nobody will disturb you over the weekends. Nobody will message you, text
One
you
of the
to be
most
like,
important things. Yeah.
can you do this?
Work-life balance is
Work-life
a
balance,
real
yes.
thing here, yes.
So there you go.
Mine would be the cold.
Oh, that's a controversial one.
No, see, you lived in Pune. Pune has good weather.
Yeah.
I lived in Mumbai, so no thank you. I prefer this weather. ये जो अभी मुंबई वाला weather चल रहा है ना, this is an exception, but I like the weather here. Okay, now I think we're done. Do you want to do one more? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Clean streets, uh, mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
Yesterday's park notwithstanding, but
So let's do the negative things now.
not. I wouldn't
Or
say
let's
negative.
say-
Just
So things we dislike.
yeah.
I dislike that the train costs a lot. Like anything to
Yes.
travel between different cities, even though it's a small country, it's like extortionate amount of money.
Yeah.
That needs to change. So yeah, that's one.
The public transport could be better.
Yeah.
To add on to that, because if I have to go somewhere far away, I have to their bus stations and train stations are really, really far,
Yeah.
and taxis are expensive. So it's, if you don't have your own car, it's a bit of a hassle to travel anywhere.
Hmm.
Not just the cost, but the inconvenience of how long it takes, the different modes of transport you have to keep changing. I guess that's a bit hard. You go.
Oh, I thought you said the same
No,
thing.
so it was add on. You said you talked about the cost. I talked about the accessibility
Okay,
of public
okay.
transport.
So
एग्जाम का क्वेश्चन लिख रहा है ऐसे लग रहा है नहीं ये अलग पॉइंट था दिस वाज नॉट द सेम
So another thing I don't like is, even though I like the NHS, having the NHS and having the access to NHS, I'm finding it increasingly difficult these days to get an appointment. That there's like this huge waiting list for literally everything and anything and everything. Now you.
coffee here doesn't taste good. I spent £4 25 pence on a coffee that I could make
For the
at
best
home.
coffee,
Yeah.
then you'll have to go to Australia.
No, I'll go home and make it on my own for free. I mean, no, for a fraction, kabhi fraction of the price. So no, yeah, I just probably need to find the right thing to tell the instructions to give at the coffee shop so that they
No,
do the right
but having
combination.
tasted like coffee in Australia, I can tell you now that the coffee that we get here is nothing compared to the blend that they have there.
While we're on the subject, the food also, like why? What is your problem, British people, with using salt in your food? It doesn't even have to be spicy. Just add a little bit of sodium, whatever, sodium chloride, right? That's what salt
I
is.
have no idea. I
And
was
yeah,
bad
just
at
add a
chemistry.
little bit. To add a little bit of just sprinkle, not even an entire spoonful, just a little bit of a sprinkle. Nahi, yesterday's fries. What? How? The potatoes without salt is just like eating mud. I love potatoes, and I'm still saying this. Yeah. Indian food is bad here as well. Indians who are running restaurants, what the hell are you cooking?
It's
I'm
because
sorry.
it's because what they call is should I say it? White people curry. That's what it's called. So it's just Indian food that is customized for British people
Why can't you have a
to their
segment of Indian food? Like just have that as an option, like how you can make things gluten free or how you can make things vegan, like less spicier version of curry. And what is with Indian restaurants not having vegetarian options here? One or two, that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot many of those they don't do.
And what is pilau rice? Can you please explain what is pilau?
And
किसको पिला रहे हम? And another thing, like everything is papadam. First of all,
papad.
papad it is different. Papad, aplam and papadam. Papadam is a Kerala item.
Yeah.
Okay, when you fry the papad, it becomes like a ball in some places. Aplam fries thoda aise ho jata. It doesn't ball up. And papad and aplam ka texture is different, but they fry in the same way, but they taste also different. But everything here is papadam. I guess I'll have to relearn about Indian food in the UK because that is a different type of food altogether. That is not Indian food. As someone who lived in India for 36 years, it's a scam. Indian food here.
Totally.
I don't know. I think London has authentic Indian, which I haven't tried.
You just have to go to the right places.
Yeah, which we'll
but
have to
but
find.
but
I think we
it's
can
like
do
you
a
need
vlog type thing.
Yeah, you need to taste. It takes a lot of
Pani
bad
puri
ones
मिलती है
to
यहाँ
find
पे?
the good ones.
पानी पूरी मिलती है यहाँ पे?
हाँ, but ऐसे जैसे इंडिया में भैया
वो
टाइप्स
ठीक है.
मिलती है वैसे
नहीं
नहीं
चाहिए मुझे वैसे. I'll rather pour the pani on my own, but I just want the flavors. Will we find good pani puri here?
आती. No. Probably in
Can
London.
you see the? हाँ, लंदन की बात कर रही हूँ
अच्छा,
रे.
नहीं, इधर,
यहाँ
हाँ,
नहीं. हाँ,
हाँ.
ठीक है.
ढूंढने पे तो भगवान भी मिल जाते
नहीं
हैं.
ढूंढने मुझे भगवान. पानी पूरी दिला दो बस. मुझे नहीं ढूंढने भगवान. It's a very personal thing. I think your God, my God, everybody else's God doesn't have to be the same.
No, it doesn't.
Circling back to whatever. So, I think we've had a good run with this. This is our good Happy Diwali episode. Because I think our next episode will be after Diwali. Pooja and I would like to wish everyone a happy Diwali and a
Happy
prosperous
Diwali,
New Year
everyone.
in advance.
Yeah.
Hope you have a safe. यहाँ पे तो safe ही होती है UK
Yeah.
में तो, but India में भी हो तो safe Diwali.
Safe and a
Yeah.
very happy Diwali.
मीठी दिवाली खाओ मिठाई एंजॉय करो हमको तो मिलेगी कि नहीं इस बार पता नहीं but enjoy with your family. Hope you guys have a great time and we'll see you after the festivities.
Ta-da! See you soon. Bye.
Bye.